The good stuff, so I'm going to leave it to other people.
There are
to speak.
real strengths with aging and becoming more seasoned and experienced. You do not have encyclopedic knowledge in any profession in your 20s or 30s. It's not possible to do that. You do not have the range of experience. So, Raymond Cattell, he came up with this idea of fluid intelligence versus crystallized intelligence. Fluid being just the raw abilities and the speed at which you can process things, which we find with those in their youth. But this idea of having a depth of knowledge and being able to share that knowledge. So it's not surprising that the best teachers are those that are more seasoned. You don't find the best teachers in their 20s or 30s. They haven't encountered it. Maybe they have no idea how they do it. And these are real strengths that you can lean into as you age and as you improve. Arthur C. Brooks, I don't know if that's a name familiar. He was a former horn player who's become a best-selling writer, but he has a book called Strength to Strength, where he talks about that journey and moving into those areas of strength. So part of the thing of, I think, the focus of aging is aging into and moving into those areas where you have strength that others don't have because of the abilities you've acquired.
You know, hopefully with experience, as Terry was saying, you've also learned to recognize the stuff that doesn't really matter. So that you don't sweat that stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
That's true. That's true. Anybody else?
Somebody else has anything else to say about this, about the good stuff? Well, I'll say that part of the good stuff is also not being afraid. If you have never improvised, you're improvising when you're warming up. Acknowledge that you are an improviser. It doesn't have to be anything in particular. It could be practicing getting from one note to the next without a piece of music in front of you. Acknowledge that you do not have to be preoccupied with doing everything exactly the way you were taught. You do have the freedom to come up with new ideas. And don't be afraid. I don't mean not walking down the street, you know, but I mean, when you notice something that could benefit from your observations, consider the appropriateness of it and make a decision if you're going to help someone by something that you've observed, whether it's a colleague or a concert that you went to and somebody said something inappropriate. Fear not.
Apropos to what Terry said, I think probably many of us in the room might feel that we're perhaps better grandmothers and grandfathers than we might have been mothers or fathers. And it's not only because of when you're raising children, you're busy working, the time element is limited. When you're a grandparent, you have a little bit more time, a lot more time. But you do have more wisdom, you have more patience, you have more insight, and you're able to distinguish the important things from the less important things. So in spite of all these physical things that we are very important and we all can relate to, there's a bit of an embracing our status as seniors and older people, because there's a lot of positive things that we have to offer and share with and enjoy.
Yeah, and you also have to agree with everything that Lenny just said, and Terry and Brenda as well. You have to laugh and have fun. This thing is a lot of fun. And the challenges of, I know as oboist, but I love playing the instrument. I love hearing the bassoon. I love all these different things that are around me. I love my colleagues, those who are supporting before I come into solos and different things. So it's a family reunion with instruments, folks. That's how you have to think about this. It's a family reunion, a good family reunion, a happy family reunion. Not Uncle Joe, but nevertheless, because you have to embrace that. And I agree with Brenda says, and you want to conquer your fears. What am I, Toyin said, what am I afraid of? I got to go to that passage and work it out very, very slowly and not be in a hurry, okay? The speed limit in New Jersey is 55, but we want to, again, laughter, enjoyment. This is what music is about. This is very important. Or if you're an actor or you're a cinematographer, whatever. Those activities, those interests should be continuously fed. Something new. I want to know how to play more golf. I want to do this. All that kind of stuff. All right? So, very important.
So, thank you.
One last word here. Yeah. And then-
I think this relates, but I want to, a lot of us are still involved with teaching, and we're dealing with students who could be our grandchildren. And I'm wondering, and Lenny was talking about sharing and, your wisdom, et cetera, but I think, and if anybody has any advice how to do this, to be a little careful, like the eyes will roll and say, oh crap, another grandpa story's coming. You're meaning well with the young people, but you gotta kind of temper it a little bit, because we want to give them so much while we can, but you can overwhelm them.
Listen to their music.
Huh?
Listen to their
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
Learn how to play it.
What they have to say.
Listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen.
We do that in music. Listening is the most important thing. And in life, we have to listen, particularly as we get older and we kind of get set in our ways and we think, well, they're young, they should listen to us. But we learn a lot from listening, and anyone here on this panel and in the audience who teaches, who does not learn and has not learned from their students is not being honest.
That's
But
true.
we
Really is
learn
two-way.
a lot.
Yeah.
It's a
It's
two-way.
two ways.
I learn a lot from my students.
We want to thank you as a panel very much. Brenda, last word?
Thank you, Brenda.
Hopefully, this is to be continued, and maybe you can encourage IDRS to continue with this health and wellness panel or committee that's been established, and hopefully we will have more of this kind of presentation in the future IDRS conferences. Please make sure you copy the QR code, you have all of our contact information, and take a look at all of these, or some of these different links that we've sent to you, and please help us add to this list. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Good job.